one who has done so much for Dominica. So once again, we are going to say good morning for the second time to Mr. Sheridan Gregoire. Are you hearing us loud and clear, Mr. G?
I'm hearing you loud and very clear.
Yes.
I've used crisp and clear as usual.
Yes. This is what the big sound sounds like. So
True.
yeah, we were just reminiscing. Yes, I was alive, a
Yeah.
child then, and it was an incident of epic proportion. It was devastating. Our little wooden house, for some reason, was lifted and ended up in the road. So it was really a traumatical time. And even the after effect, going through the Hurricane David after effect, the aftermath was even almost the curfew was also something to behold. You, I guess, were part of the helm then with the special committee. You were then part of the committee, not yet?
Yes, I was part of the team, the recovery team. As a matter of fact, I remember attending a meeting in at the with William Demas in
Mm-hmm.
Barbados,
Mm-hmm.
for setting up the integrated international aid post David
Mm-hmm.
post David, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember Peter Richards covered that program. And so it was, in fact, I remember Percival Mari was on that team, and I mean, Oliver Seraphin was the prime minister at the time. And then, really,
Mm-hmm.
things worked fairly well. As a matter of fact, and recovery was pretty swift after. But that was historical in my mind, the most devastating hurricane that Dominica has ever seen in my
Yes,
lifetime.
I agree. You think more devastating than Maria?
I think so, I think so. I mean, it was really. I remember I was in New York when the hurricane struck, and
Mm-hmm.
I was walking down the street in New York City, and I saw on the television a big screen saying the tiny island of Dominica is no more.
Wow.
So I quickly made my way back to the hotel, and I made a couple of calls, and I found out, hey, this thing is real. So the
Mm-hmm.
following day, I made my way to Antigua, and when I got to Antigua, there was no flight because the airport was not functioning. There were no flights.
Yes.
So I had
Mm-hmm.
to put some thoughts together, and I chartered a small aircraft, and I got some people who were there already to participate. So in other words, it really cost me just about the same as the ticket because everybody who came on the aircraft, paid their way. And so we made our way down to Dominica, and then of course the roads were blocked.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had to then take rides from one point to another point and then cross a ridge of debris and then go on the other side and get transport until I got to Roseau. So it was quite an experience.
Mm-hmm. So we are now getting towards our special program today. Mr. G,
Mm.
the World Creole Music Festival, you would have been part of this movement. I call it a movement, I call it an institution because we have seen how it has blossomed. But Julius Timothy, a pivotal part of this, tell us how things were actually maneuvered and the whole story, the journey which led us to actually having the first World Creole Music Festival and the part that Mr. Julius Timothy played.
Okay, first of all, in the interest of full disclosure,
Yeah.
um, my wedding anniversary was yesterday, and
Okay.
Julius Timothy was my best man.
Wow. So I can
So,
imagine.
that is how close Julius
Mhm,
Timothy and I were.
mhm.
Right? So I can say with clarity that Julius really was a very special person. He,
Mhm.
he was a visionary, right? He had a vision for the people of Dominica, for the economy of Dominica, for the country. I mean, he really was able to see way ahead of a lot of other people. And so he did a fantastic job when he was in the government. But I mean, I remember him more clearly in terms of his relationship with people. I mean, he was a humanitarian, really. He was very concerned about human dignity. He was cool with everybody.
Mhm.
That's the kind of guy he was. I mean, what you might do, you might take some calls as we go along from people who might know Julius, who would want to call and
Yes.
say something about him. Even
Mhm.
people at ACS might want to call and see what kind of manager he is
Yes.
and all of that. So, I mean,
Mhm.
really, truly, there's a lot to say about Julius Wadix.
Yes. So what we'll be doing now, as a matter of fact, the lines are open while Mr. Gregory is on, and we are discussing Mr. Julius Timothy, sort of really laying some flowers on him while he's alive, because the amount of work, the body of work of this statesman is just tremendous. So if you he touched you in any way, touched your group in any way, touched your family in any way, feel free to call us. We are live on the big station Q95 FM. So yes, Mr. Timothy, you were saying.
Yes, Julius, with all of the big things you've done, he was really a scholar, a very bright man. He really is he's a very bright man. He's a certified public accountant. He worked with a reputable international accounting firm. He has an MBA,
Yes.
and he did all of that while he was working. So this man is just phenomenal. And in fact, he was in fact a statesman, Wadix. I mean, anybody
Yes.
who knows Julius,
Is.
he is in fact a statesman.
Yes.
He conducted himself with decorum inside and outside of the parliament on the international scene. He supported his church. I mean, he participated in community, basically.
Absolutely. But was he part of the National Committee for Salvation together with you?
Um, no, Julie was not part. Not no. I don't recall Julie being a part of the Committee for National Salvation, but he, of course, played his role in the private sector. Yes, I mean Julius. He may have been, but I don't recall him being on that committee as an active participant. But what I can say is that he's an avid sports enthusiast. Right? I mean, he played sports. He was a very strong supporter of sports. In fact, he sponsors the Q95 Sports Rap program, which takes
Yes.
on a Thursday evening from 6 to 8. And he's a prolific domino player and organizer.
Yes. And I can vouch for he actually playing and sponsoring the Swansea Domino Club, and he would have played, I think, with Ted Daly, and they would have have several epic combinations. He also played with Albert Riley and those guys. So he would have been playing dominoes for several decades.
Oh yes, oh yes. But this is the kind of things he loved to do. You see, he loved to immerse himself in community. He loved to be on the blocks, interacting with people, mingling with people, talking to people, finding out what are their needs, and always looking to help somebody. That is Julius Timothy.
Let's fast forward to the World Creole Music Festival. As a matter of fact, we have our first caller, Mr. G. Let's take our first caller. Good morning to you. This is Creole Heartbeat, and we are speaking about Julius Timothy as we sort of pay a living tribute to him. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat.
Good morning. What's your name again? Sorry. Hello?
Yes, good morning. This is Wadix and Mr. Gregoire.
Yes, good morning to both of you all.
Thank you
No
very much.
Rample speaking here.
Hi, Ms. Tyrampo.
Yes, Julius Timothy was the Minister of Health once.
Right.
And I have to say, God have to bless him. God have to guide him. God have to protect him. Sickness plenty times is for God to do what he have to do with us. But he had a conscience. He was a loving man. I work in the Ministry of Health as a primary care nurse. I work all through Dominican already doing this and doing that. And then there was a man who came to teach us scans. And I was the only nurse that could use that machine. I would work day and night, day and night. My salary cannot increase. The same little pittance they was giving me. And I called Mr. Julius on the phone. And he said, what? He told me to bring a letter. And he had an appointment with me. And when I went to him, he said, no, that's not right. And as you know why, because it's not right, I spoke to the people in the head department. They didn't say anything about you, not much. But when I went in the communities, the way people spoke about you, you deserve something. Then he asked me what amount of money I would like. And I told him, give me a break. I phoned up, make a few phone calls. I check out the salaries and things. And then I went to him and said, Papa, you asked for plenty. I said, Mr. Timothy, years I work in day and night for primary care money. That cannot be right. And he said, okay. He said, anyway, you will get what you asked for. God will ask for more. I agree with you. And you know what? God have to bless that man. Because some government people use and abuse the citizens that work for no money. And when people get brighter money, I left work at 68 years. And I continue to do my country. I did good for my country and I'm proud, I'm happy that I could save so many lives. I was Mr. Julius Timothy, I would not get a nice salary that I could come out and be proud about. Julius, may God bless you, may God guide you, and may God keep you. In Jesus' name I pray. Thank you for the opportunity and bye-bye.
Thank you very much, and Nurse Darample. So, Mr. G, as we continue.
Yeah, thank you, Nurse Darample, for that. I mean, this is the kind of testimony that you don't really speak the truth about Julius Timothy. I mean, he, in fact, while he served that as Minister for Health, he was concerned about the cost of healthcare and wanted to make healthcare universal and affordable and accessible to everyone in Dominica, whatever your income. So he felt healthcare was a right. And so he felt everybody deserved to have healthcare. But, you know, Julius Timothy, just before we go into the World Creole Music Festival, Julius Timothy was a community leader, Wadix.
Yeah.
He led many initiatives in the Rosenhoff constituency when he was the parliamentary representative for that constituency. He had a hands-on people, he's a hands-on people's man. And he visited every home, he socialized with everyone.
Are we taking the calls as we go along, Mr. G?
Let's take the calls.
Good morning to you on Creole Heartbeat, the big station. Good morning to you, Mr. Gregoire and Leroy Wadix Charles on Creole Heartbeat. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Wadix.
And how are you this morning, sir? Well, hey, moi la gache bezaga tu.
Mon qui pour dire qui parole à subir à Julius Timothy.
Pas de problème, man. I know I.
Ma sou ka changer.
Ouais.
On savent am pension pour na l'époque là.
Yes.
On savent Julius Timothy qui était ça.
Ouais, moi connais ça.
Et donc ça un avocat qui était head minister. C'est qu'à gouvernement Timothy head and head pour ça pas fait tout ça.
Moi connais ça aussi.
Timothy decide il est pour faire. C'est ça qui fait, c'était le premier signature qui était allé check là, la moun qui a retire. So, nom ça abonné pour béni. Because it's a bon homme, et bien, il est au tamon.
Merci, Apil. Okay, to before, and he was just referring to the compensation fund as a port compensation fund. And Julius Timothy was a member of the Dominican Stevedores Limited then. And that's where the port workers would have gotten their salaries from. Because they were a collective or a collection of the various the collection of various ship owners and ship they control like the shipping services, and then he was very instrumental in the compensation fund and was a signatory at the time. So yes, Mr. J.
Yes, Wadix. I mean, basically, I mean, Julius, I mean, what is there that you cannot say about Julius that's not great? He's a great man, you know, and it's a pity that he is the situation that he is on himself in now. And I really feel for him. And I really wish I could communicate with him directly, but that is not possible at the moment. So, well, you have to thank God for small mercies. We can indirectly communicate with him. But
absolutely.
But you asked about the World Creole Music Festival. The way the whole thing started is really with Julius Timothy, because I mean I used to, when I was a CEO of the National Development Corporation, I attended several meetings outside of Dominica with him as an advisor to him, World Bank meetings and so on, CDB meetings and whatnot. And we had gone to Barbados to a meeting, and it was a crop over festival. And then Julius said, yeah, we need to have something like that in Dominica. I said, okay. So when I get back, we'll look at it. So in fact, that is where the thing started. So when I got back, we formed a committee and we started having brainstorming about it. We got a lot of ideas from a lot of people. And eventually I got the different departments of the NDC to contribute to a paper which would present the cabinet. After we got something together, I asked Sobers Esprit to fine-tune the cabinet paper, which I then presented to cabinet. And of course, Julius was there in cabinet, and Norris Prevost was there, and Edison James were there. And they very enthusiastically adopted the concept for the Creole Music Festival. That is how it started. And Julius said to me, "Well, we can give you 450,000, but to start with, that is all he could say he could give. But then eventually, we only got about 250,000. So we really had to make do with whatever we had, and that is how the whole thing got started. And you know, Alex, you know all the people who were involved in this from the start. We had a program. We did this. I mean, a lot of people worked free of charge.
Absolutely.
Free.
But the most important part of it, Mr. G, was his commitment. He
That's
saw the vision and his commitment to this particular project, and we are now actually seeing the dividends. Another call for Mr. Julius Timothy. Good morning to you. This is Creole Habit.
Ambassador Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir. And how are you?
And good morning. I'm all right, thank you. Good morning to Sheridan Gregoire.
Good
morning to your listeners. I first of all want to commend Ambassador Charles, Sheridan Gregoire, and 295 for giving Dominicans the opportunity to express themselves and to commend people before they go to their grave. Too many times people go to their grave and we say, he was a nice person, she was a nice person. I'm happy in my heart this morning to hear of the good work of Honorable Julius Timothy, a man of substance, a man of worth, an honorable man, a man who have made a meaningful contribution to the development of his constituency as the parliamentary representative at the time, and of course the Commonwealth of Dominica. This is a good man. No matter what it is, he is a good man. So I just want to pray God's blessing on him and his family for longer life, speedy recovery, good health. And I'm so happy to know this man. And the thing with Julius was always a humble person. Always a humble person. I do funerals, and even when I'm standing there and I have my program in my hand, I just feel somebody just take away the program, and I just, even if before I even see, sometimes my hand is at the back and I have the program in my hand. It's out of Julius Timothy. So we had a very good work. I think the World Creole Music Festival, we should mention these people, because without these people, there was no World Creole Music Festival. You know, Julius Timothy, Sheridan Gregoire, Norris Prevost, these people, they were the founding people. Even this is too long.
Yes, Eddie too long.
So we have to let our young people know. We have to and I think it is time, World Creole Music Festival, but let us mark it, Honorable Julius Timothy, while he's still alive with us. Any other part of the country or any other part of the world, people would have cherished and uphold and market what they have. So seeing that his heart is still beating, and we pray for it to beat longer with us, let us reach out in the World Creole Music Festival. I would like to hear Julius Timothy mention or name something after that man to do with the World Creole Music Festival. Gentlemen, hats off to you, and I'm ending here by leaving you all in the hands of the Almighty.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller. Mr. G, $400,000 was committed. What happened then?
Well, we only got 250, but as you know, Alex, you were part of it. We had to cut corners. We had to negotiate very hard with the performers, to get the best deal. We had to really make ends meet. And so we had to cut our coat to suit, or cloth, basically. And so, but we made it. And then let's give some tribute to Eddie Toulon.
Before we do that, let's take another call for Julius Timothy. Good morning to you, Creole Handbit, on the big station.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
And how are you this morning?
I would like to support the last caller, because too many times we tend to forget our people who have done so much meaningful thing in our country. We tend to bury them before they die. And for this morning, I want to give tribute to Mr. Timothy. Mr. Timothy has been a long-time friend of my family. As for me, before the politics, he had been a friend. He had been a loving man, a caring person. And a lot of times, people misunderstand the kind of love that he had for human beings. I can go a long, long time talking about him, but I will stop there and I will tell you one thing I admired about him is his good grammar. I always used to say, Mr. Timothy, I love to hear you speak. You help me to improve my grammar.
And for that, I want to thank you. And I used to say, Mr. Tim, when I make a mistake, I'm speaking, please correct me because you are my teacher. I like to listen to you. Your grammar is always on point. And I just want to say this morning for the whole world to hear, Mr. Julius Timothy, I love you unconditionally. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for honoring me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. And Mr. G, like you mentioned, Mr. Timothy, a scholar, but then we were on the point of Eddie Tulo and his contribution also.
Yes, Eddie Toulon really, I mean, was a giant. I mean, I remember when well, three people had applied for the job of the executive director of DFC. One was my sister, one was Val Coffey, and one was Eddie Toulon. And we chose Eddie Toulon because Eddie Toulon obviously had the experience and the wherewithal. And I never regretted that we chose Eddie Toulon because he did a really fantastic job. I mean, and he made a lot of sacrifices, but he really put everything together very, very nicely. Worked very hard with the team, of course. But I mean, you know, I don't think Eddie has got enough credit for the work that he has done with the Creole Music Festival, just like Julius has not got enough credit for it. And we really need to give these people a lot more credit for all of the hard work, the dedication, the commitment that went into creating the World Creole Music Festival. Julius Timothy, for example, had always had a vision for the festival as a tourism puller. I mean, he felt that it would attract a lot of people to the country. And he, in fact, as finance minister, would have collected a lot of departure taxes, head taxes from the airport. And obviously that came to be a reality because I'm sure the government is cleaning up on departure taxes and head taxes from people passing through the airport for the festival. And then, of course, during that month, as recall, Independence did not attract too many people to Dominica from outside. It was Carnival and Christmas. So, but to put in this festival at that time, I mean, created a major shift in that a lot of people came down to Dominica during that period, got all the hotels occupied and the taxis operating, the car rentals, the restaurants, and the vendors were addicts. Let's not forget the vendors.
Yes.
The vendors made it was a tremendous thing to see the vendors do so much from the festival.
In terms of the first year, he pledged 400,000, but you eventually get 200,000. What happened the other years?
The other years, we got a little bit more, but then it's not a lot more. It's not a lot more. But then we really had to, you see, that is why I said, you know, Eddie and the team had to be good to cut corners with what we had. Because, I mean, we remember what is you were an integral part of this thing. You know the kind of artists we had from all over the world, right? From Africa, from everywhere. And we had to negotiate with them to come down to something that was reasonable to fit the budget that we had. And so, in fact, it took a lot of work, a lot of dedication, you know, a lot of efficiency to be able to work within that budget. And then, of course, as you know, the first year, the gate receipts were not all that great. No, the gate receipts were not all that great. I mean, the second year it improved and so on, and it improved thereafter. But we had to really make do with what we had.
I want you to listen to something, and this is the voice of Mr. Julius Timothy. We did an interview with yourself and him, and I would like you to listen to this at this point in time. Go ahead.
Actually, it's a very interesting story. Sheridan was, the manager of NDC, and I was Minister of Finance, Industry, and Planning. And as a result, we worked together on industry projects, and we were in Barbados on government business. And we were, during that time, just crop over in Barbados. And we were looking at this crop over. And we're thinking, what in Dominica? What we have our carnival already fine. But what else can we do? And I said, but Sheridan, we have all these bands. I mean, we've had Liquid Eyes, Mammoth, Black Affairs, Gaylords. We've had all these Creole bands. And we should be able to work something around it. And he says, what you say now make a lot of sense, But anyway, when I go back, I will talk to Gordon, I will talk to Dennis and some other guys, and let us see if we can do something for Dominica. It made Dominica's independence the thing. Not only that, you had Dominicans from overseas visiting, and there were other people in the region and elsewhere visiting, and they were then experiencing and feeling Dominican culture. Even the question of world, when the project first came, it was Dominica's Creole Festival. What you don't know is when the paper came to me, when I looked at it, I said, no, it's not going to be Dominica's Creole Festival. It's going to be a world Creole Festival. That's when I put in the word world. And then Mr. Gregoire was responsible directly to another minister. And when he came, boys, I'm not so sure. I said, okay, I will take it from there. And I took the paper and I went to cabinet with it. And I had the job to convince them. And I said, okay, at least let's do it for 1 year and then we will move on. And I was told, but where are you going to get the money? I said, it's all right. I am the Minister of Finance. I will get the money to get the project going. And interesting, the very first year, we got $200,000 for the project. The second year, we got $100,000. On the third year, the project broke even. We did not have to take government's money. I can tell you, the Ministry of Finance staff, people like Lander, people like Willie Shaw and so on, they were with me. They were collecting the monies in the night, we were keeping the money in the vault in the Ministry of Finance and counting it and putting the money in the bank the next day, It was serious teamwork. What we looked at in what Dominica benefiting from World Creole Music Festival was not just the action on the stage, but Dominica as a tourism destination and the business opportunities. So that even if we were not able to make money the first year, for instance, we could not make money, but the ministers and Dominicans generally realized the economic boost we were getting from this World Creole Music Festival. So it just had to have been. For instance, one of the things we had decided, we had looked at, because when Mr. G is talking about I was giving him money, we were thinking of privatizing. Because it's not government's business to run those things. We were thinking of privatizing it. And even if initially government would have had to give a subvention to let them run it, but not government operating the World Creole Music Festival. It was not meant to be that way. We always looked at the private sector. That's one thing with the UWP government at the time. We always looked how we can get the citizens empowered, and not us as ministers, not our thing, but get the citizenry involved. We had this German reggae, and this guy came, but nobody followed up. I mean, getting this guy here, we should have had at least 5,000 Germans following him. But nobody just came and went, and nobody developed. Yeah, well, basically, Mr. Gregoire is there, I am there, Dennis Joseph are there. A lot of us are still there. They can tap us. We can work with them, to promote the project. But nobody seems to think, I guess, they figure we are passé, not relevant anymore. And as a result, I mean, the visions we have. For instance, the way I was able to just look at this German group and vision what we could do with that. All you have to do is come and talk to me and ask me.
This was the voice of Mr. Julius Timothy. That interview was done in 2001 with yourself and Mr. Timothy several years back. And this were his thoughts, Mr. G.
Right.
and not only his thoughts, but then where this festival could have gone, privatization, and the government would not have had that major issue or challenge to have to get the money every year like we are seeing now, but something totally different. The vision was totally different. When you think of the genesis, have we sort of lost the vision or have we strayed away from the original vision, Mr. G?
I would say that we have to some extent, and although I notice it's been corrected now
Yeah.
this year, I mean, some of it is being corrected now in terms of the Creole music, the French component. But really and truly, they asked me such. You see, I didn't remember that in the second year, he gave us only $100,000.
Yes. And you see, for history's sake, the
Yes,
third year broke even.
we broke even in the third year. So
In
he
the
said
third year.
after that, they didn't even need to give us money anymore.
Exactly. So by the third year, there was no subvention from the government.
Yes,
That would have been 1999.
that's correct. So here's the thing that the way we envisaged this Creole Music Festival, we intended to make the World Creole Music Festival stage, the platform, as a launching pad for Creole music artists. And so their agents would in fact look to launch new artists on the World Creole Music Festival stage, free of charge.
Yes.
In other words, we would not have to pay them for that because we would have developed that brand to the extent. Because remember, as Mr. Timothy said, we had planned to establish the World Creole Music, the Dominica Festivals corporations as a private sector entity that would really do all that groundwork and do all the marketing for this. And we had also established, as you will recall, Wadix, the World Federation of Creole Cultures, which is supposed to enable the Creole language throughout Dominica in the schools, in parliament, in everywhere, to really fortify and enhance the Creole language. So it would become an everyday thing, everybody speaking Creole. I mean, by now my Creole would have been perfect.
Absolutely.
So, exactly. So this was the intention. And so Julius Timothy had this vision that the private sector would take over this thing and it would become a major tourist attraction, right? And then remember also that we had started doing this World Creole Music Awards.
Yeah.
Now, this program is a program in which you would select the major artists, the Creole artists of the world, bring them to that stage, and they would come free of charge and do some performance there and then receive the awards. And so that would have become a big thing like the Latin Music Awards or like the BET or whatever it is, this music awards. It would become a big deal. And then the intention also was to take the World Creole Music Festival and put it on the world stage. Yeah. Take it out onto the road, take it to Africa, take it to Japan, take it to the United States, to Canada, take it all over the world. Because the as you know, I mean, people like Nasio Fontaine, his music was appreciated in Africa, in Japan, and everywhere. Yeah. They enjoy that kind of music. So the idea was to take this to those stages and make a big thing out of it. And today I noticed that the bouillon artists are taking the bouillon music out, which is good. But I hope it is done well so that the Dominica can really capitalize in the long run, in the long term, not just for a moment for it to disappear overnight. No, you want it to be able to have longevity. All right. So basically, the Creole Music Festival was not just a stage show. It was a whole concept, a whole vision for transforming Dominica's tourism.
Absolutely. Okay, Mr. G, we are now joined by a very beautiful young lady, a teenager, my beautiful sister, Sandra Joseph. So, Mr. G, you can either stay on board because we have a few people that we'll be hooking up with. You can either stay around or you feel free that you could come back or call in or whatever. But Sandra, how are you? Good morning to you, my dear. How are you? How are you? How are you?
Good morning. I am very well, thank you.
And you have been very close to Mr. Timothy. And you have been working with Mr. Timothy for how long now?
I've been working with Mr. Timothy for many years.
Get closer to the mic, my dear.
Okay.
And talk like when you're talking to me and you're making noise with me. As my younger sister, Sandra Joseph, who have been with Mr. Timothy for several years.
Yeah, over 37 years.
Over 37 years. By the way, we want to say hello and hi to his sons who are radio shy and would have loved to be there, but they say that radio is not their thing. That's Jason and Cornelius. They would have loved to be there, but they send their love. They just sent me a message and tell me they send their love to everyone who I'm really calling in, because quite a bit of people are already calling in. You can see the lines are going already. Yeah. But Sandra, I mean, now that Mr. Timothy, as a matter of fact, what position you currently hold at ACS?
I'm the manager in the insurance department.
Manager of
New India Assurance Company Limited.
Okay. And now that Mr. Timothy is now retired, what kind of boss would you tell our listeners he is to you?
Boy, do we have enough time? Because Julius Timothy was, I mean, there are so many things to talk about Julius Timothy. But Julius Timothy, in essence, was a boss like no other.
Yeah.
Julius Timothy would walk into a room or in one of his departments, and even if customers are there, staff and customers would almost simultaneously pause because he entered. So we wanted to know what was it he had on his mind, what was it, because as soon as he entered, he had something to say. And those moments were priceless. You know, we really looked forward to him. He was a very kind man. He was, he had a very big heart. He was caring, compassionate. Julius Timothy, he's
when you say kind, he assisted lots of people.
Yeah, he assisted lots of people, including staff. I remember one example, I mean many, but if I may speak of one example where we had a staff member who had some medical issues, and Julius Timothy paid. He covered the costs to send her to Matnik to undergo medical treatment. You know, she has since passed, but she is just one of many that he assisted out of his pocket, or ACS, his company.
Because a very good colleague of his who couldn't be here today because of some pressing issues said, we are hearing about the Red Clinic, but Julius Timothy's office was like a natural Red Clinic. Every day people would come and seeking some level of assistance, and he never turned them away. He never turned them away.
That wasn't Julius Timothy. Julius Timothy sought to assist everybody. That was his mission. Because everybody had a need, and he said, you know, son, we are all different. So let us help them if we can.
And he continued to support like sporting groups.
Yes.
Calypso, even right now on Q95 FM, the popular sports program with Lockhart Sebastian and Ron Lander and the rest is sponsored by ACS. He continued to be, you know, a part of you as a sportsman, added sportsman. I think he told me once he was a forward man, you know. Well, we are express society. Just want to while relax, get some water. If you can get my sister some bottle of water. I think we also have to hook up with a few other people. Who do we have now, Glenn? Okay, Glenn, good morning. How are you? Are you hearing me loud and clear? We're trying to hook with some of the friends of Julius Timothy. Is that Glenfield?
Yes.
Glenford, Merrifield.
Hey,
good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty okay, and I'm feeling good this morning. We are paying special tribute to Mr. Julius Timothy. How well do you know him?
Oh, do you have enough time? I worked with him from 1985 to 1993. Now, the way I came to work for him is in itself, how would say it, a mystery, if you put it that way. I did not know Julius Timothy. I knew of him, and because I live with a guy called Boots Corrett who knew Timothy very well, and we were playing a cricket game, and Timothy happened to be on that cricket field. And I had just been laid off by Tongue Incorporated. I was a salesman going around the country. And I picked up the phone on the next Monday morning, and I called Mr. Timothy and I said, have you considered having a mobile sales unit? He said, come talk to me in the office. I came, and within 2 days we were on the road. And so started the association that lasted up until the last time I saw him in 2022, when I came for the independence celebration. Now, you were asking Sandra what kind of boss is he?
Yes.
Or was he? This was a man who led by example. He was never too clean or never too busy if there was groceries or flour, chicken, whatever it was being offloaded. And sometimes the other workers were reluctant or they were lingering. He was never, ever too busy to jump in that line or too well dressed to jump in that line. And you will see him be covered with flour and everything else. And everybody has followed his example. And the work got done. Mm-hmm. So this is the kind of person he was. And I had been thinking a while back about the people who have helped me along the way and where I am today. And I remember...
You sound emotional.
Yes. I remember that. And I said, by my actions, I have shown him how much he did for me, but I never verbalized it.
Yeah.
And I called him. I knew I was coming down. I called him. I said, listen, this is what I want to do. And I need to get things you like. He said, okay, I'm gonna give you a plaque. I'm doing a crystal plaque to say thank you. And I just didn't do it from me. I put it from everyone he has helped. And I got him, he said he liked cross pens. And I got him in his cross pens initialed with supplies for, the ink refills for a long, long time. And it's so unfortunate that 6 months later, he was disabled.
Wow.
We're
going to get back to some of your fondest memories in a while, but we have more calls coming in for Julius Timothy. Let's take in this call from Julius Timothy. Good morning to you. Special good morning.
Good morning, Wally.
And how are you this morning?
How you doing, Susan?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
And how are you, my dear?
I'm doing fine. As if I hear my girlfriend's voice with you there.
Sandra?
Oh, yes.
Yes, she's right there. She's right there.
Yes. Mr. Timothy was on the line too?
No, what we played was a recording of an interview I did in 2021.
Oh my God! I thought it was his voice. I said, "Oh my! I was happy to hear him speaking now."
No,
anyway.
Presently he can't speak as presently now he can't speak.
Well, I must have, a guy said something a while ago, and I wonder I was coming down by Shilling. I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Timothy, anytime I would go to Mr. Timothy, would have some fundraising, and I'll go to Mr. Timothy. He wouldn't tell me, oh, you do workers, and I'm not with workers, I'm not giving all you. He would give us. That is one thing I like about it. The only thing I didn't like is when he left us and went later. I was a little disappointed. But anyway, that was under the bridge. And every time I would meet Jason, I would meet Sandra, anybody I meet, I would always ask him, how is he doing? Maybe Jason fed up on hearing me saying that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I pray God bless him on him and he continue to stay there with us. He's got ready for him, yes. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, my dear Blue. What are some of your fondest memories, Glenford and Sandra? Let's go with Glenford first, and then we'll take Sandra. As a matter of fact, more calls. Oh no, okay. More calls are coming in. No, let's Glenford. What are some of your fondest memories while working at ACS?
Okay. Apart from the professional side, the working side, there was a social side to Mr. Timothy, and we had that staff group and anybody was invited. Anybody who was available, we would go out on hikes and these trips to the scenic places. Boiling Lake. We went to the falls, the different falls, and the Boiry Lake, freshwater lake. Every Saturday thereabout, we were going somewhere. But that was one thing that he did. Apart from that, we also work politically together. As part, before he entered the politics, he said, "Merrifield, do you think I should get involved in the politics?" I said to him, your business may suffer, but he said, if I don't, it is still possible that it would suffer because the Freedom Party at the time, their policies were not very conducive to development, because in the last few years things were not as well going as well with the party. So that began the advent of the UWP, and I was among the early people. The first meeting at the first meeting down at Mars, and then we took it from there and brought it to where it was. We worked together. I had to leave in '93 to come to the States, but we kept in touch. And whenever I go back, I always look for him.
Absolutely. Sandra, what are some of your fondest memories of Mr.
Yeah.
Timothy? I mean, like, so close, also a family friend, also very close family friend. And remember him always checking on us, Pottersville. I mean, no matter what, he would always check on us. I recall when we were building the seawall, that he actually came across and assisted us.
Yes.
So what are some of your fondest memories of Mr. Timothy?
I share those memories too. And like Merrifield, going out, hiking, the social aspect of it. Yes, he was serious, and yes, he was professional, but he made time for staff. Not only that, one of the things that I will cherish too was seeing Julius Timothy interact with some of the nation's renowned persons like Miss Charles,
Yes,
Mike Douglas, to name just two of them. And that sometimes I would tell him, you know what, which I mentioned to Mike Douglas a few times, I wish the nation could be in the office to see what happens.
So they were against each other politically, but then when they came together, there was a level of camaraderie and respect for each other. And this is very critical. And I hope that we can continue to fuel that sort of style of living, that attitude. That one can be politically for whoever. As a matter of fact, it's one's right to support whoever they want. But despite the politics, I still think that we should come together. Do we have Ron on the line? Ron Lander with us? Okay. So we're trying to get in touch with Ron Lander. Who do we have? I see Mr. Glenn Charles. Mr. Glenn Charles. Oh, we have a call. Let's take the call and then we'll go to Mr. Glenn Charles. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. This is a special tribute to Mr. Julius Timothy. Good morning, Creole Habit.
Good morning.
Hi, family Sagavet.
Are you good?
Tout bagay bien.
Let me say good morning to Mr. G.
Yes.
Let me tell him thank you for Q95. And then a little thing with myself and Mr. Julius Timothy. I can remember I want to make it short. I was have something to sign, but it's somebody of authority or whatever. When I went where I went, I think it was towards the day. Mr. Timothy was there. And he said, me, come, let me help you. I said, but Mr. Timothy, something you know I don't have a say. I said, Mr. Timothy, I didn't vote for you. It doesn't matter. Come. Just so. And the man just helped you. I said, wow.
Yes.
What different people.
Yes. That is Sadomani was he didn't allow politics to get it between who he would help or who he wouldn't help. And it still continues to be so. Are you there, family? Okay, she has gone. Okay, but let's move across to Glenn Charles. We'll take in the calls in a while. But Glenn Charles, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Tell us your relationship with Mr. Timothy.
I'm in London, so
you're in London town. Tell us about your relationship with Mr. Julius Timothy.
Well, he is my uncle. My mother is his oldest sister. He sadly passed a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm really phoning on behalf of that side of the family.
Okay, so tell us what sort of person he has been. A family person. Tell us about the positive attributes of Mr. Timothy.
Well, the negatives are that he never wanted to be old. So we were all banned from calling him uncle. He had to be Tim. So he didn't like it at all when we would. He used to call us, "You old people," calling me uncle. He didn't like it. Yes, so the vanity was there from a very young age. Very close. He's very close to my mother. Very close to his family. And a good man. A good man who never wanted to be old. He always, I think there's 6-7 years difference between us, but he was always an uncle that wanted to be down with the younger people. So Sandra, nice to see you. It's 40 years.
Okay, just hold on a while, Glenn Charles. More calls coming in for Julius Timothy. Good morning to you, Creole Handbit. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Vivian Richards. I worked with Julius Timothy for
my partner, Zakafet. The great Vivian Richards, my classmate.
Yes, exactly. That is who I am, but you remember me?
Of course, man, St. Mary's Academy. What's up, my brother?
I good, man. I good,
Yes.
I was, my sister sent me a link, and my memory is coming back strong on my body.
Yes. So tell us about those memories.
My brother, let me tell you something. I was listening to Merrifield. Merrifield and I worked originally with Shillingford when they had what they call the mobile wholesale.
Yeah.
That's where we started. In Merrifield. But when I tell you, Timothy is the best you can find. Trust me when I tell you that. Because that's why I'm up here in America today.
Because of the foundation Mr. Timothy gave you?
Yeah. You remember I worked with Shillingford, I worked on the port?
Yes, I recall that.
And, right. So then I used to go to St. Martin to get the parts for the vehicles. I was the vehicle maintenance guy.
Yeah.
And that's how I got a visa to come up here.
But what sort of boss? What sort of boss was the Viv Richards?
What sort of what?
What sort of boss was Mr. Timothy?
Oh, Mr. What do you call the ultimate boss?
Come on.
Ultimate boss.
Your phone.
Let me tell you, the guy would make jobs for people where there were no jobs.
Yes. He would create jobs. He would create jobs for people.
He would create jobs for people. Let me give you an instance. You remember Spider the Calypsonian?
Yes.
Spider was a painter.
Yes.
Spider and Tiki.
Yeah.
Tiki still alive, so you can even query that with him.
Yeah.
Spider and Tiki said they had no work, and Timothy said, listen, I'm going to give you guys a job to paint Newton factory.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a necessary painting job, but he just created something for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the matter word.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Thanks a lot, my brother. Continue.
When I go home, I go and see him, and it hurts my heart, man. Trust me.
Yes.
And I spoke to the man a week before he had that. And I said, but you're a man, you don't stop. You work, you overwork, you do all kind of things. Take it easy. You have to under doctor orders, but I'm not God, I can't tell you what happened. So, but that guy did a lot of stuff for people. I remember the soccer teams, the young soccer teams didn't have no sponsor.
Yeah.
And then he would go by, you remember Newton?
Yes.
And get uniforms for them and stuff like that. That man, I'm telling you, this guy was the best man. Trust me when I tell you that. And he gave out a lot to people, even when he didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
man. Thanks a lot, my brother. Thanks a lot for your contribution here this morning. Do we have Ron Landa? Okay, good morning to you, Ron Landa. What's up, my brother?
Good morning, Wadix. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. And I'm not sure if you heard the clip with Mr. Timothy where he said, you used to collect the money and put it in the vault for the World Creole Music Festival.
Yes, yes, yes. He had me under heavy manners.
Heavy manners.
He had me
Money
under
would be,
heavy manners, and I
money would be
appreciated that.
checked. Money would be checked the same night and put
Same
in the
night,
vault and be lodged. But what I
same
mean,
night.
you worked with Mr. Timothy. Tell us, he was the minister then, and you one of the financial wheels. Tell us about the relationship with you and Mr. Timothy.
Okay, I met Mr. Timothy in the early 1970s. He was working for a regional accounting firm, and he returned home to execute the receivership of A.C. Shillingford and Company. He diagnosed the potential of A.C. Shillingford and transitioned into management. You could see the impressive growth of A.C. Shillingford and Company over the years in Roseau, in Newtown, and Pottersville. He also played football for the Spartans football team. That was the first player that I've ever seen to play football with glasses. I had a top relationship with Spartans, people like Clem John, Jacques Faustin, Cuthbert Williams, Vivian Rennie.
Yeah.
We always maintained our friendship. We always had verbal intercourse. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed discussing a range of matters. In 93 to 95, whilst pursuing my master's degree in Canada on study from the Ministry of Finance, UW gained political power in Dominica. Julius Timothy was appointed as Minister of Finance. On my return to the Ministry of Finance, I developed a strategic alliance, a relationship with Julie. One of the major assignments that I did whilst I was at the Ministry of Finance was the development of a document to inform the re-engineered economics energy program. I was one of the first persons to do extensive research in that area and to develop a document that informed the program that the UW developed. Unfortunately, I wanted to make more contribution, but I was not afforded the opportunity. I was appointed as Director of Industry at the National Development Corporation in 1997. Julie was the Minister of Industry, and we worked collaboratively to develop agro-processing, tourism plant, information technology, and small business. The World Creole Music Festival was developed by the NDC in 1997, and I was appointed as financial controller. Thus, I had to collaboratively strategize with Julie, Minister of Finance, on financial systems and control. Government could only provide limited funds. And you heard Mr. Gregoire talking about the limited funds that they were able to provide for working capital. However, we had firm control over the management of complimentary tickets. And that's a major area of leakage currently in the festival. You see everybody with complimentary tickets. And consequently, your revenue would decrease considerably. But they have firm control over that. When we give each minister 2 complimentary tickets, anybody who asks me for a complimentary ticket, Julie said to me, tell them to come to me. And I said, just that. And that was it. That was it. So we were able to ensure that our revenue base was properly secured. And you recall at that time, WADEX, the season ticket was $100, the night ticket was only $45.
Yeah.
And we were able, by 1999, the 3rd year of the World Creole Music Festival, we were able to break even financially.
Yeah.
In that year, I collected over $1 million in revenue. And I say, boy, I'm into a big, big business. And I saw futuristically how we could have developed that business from a financial perspective. And more importantly, as I've always said to you, from a cultural industry perspective, focusing on the important components of culture in Dominica. The music, the dance, the other cultural expressions. We've lost that. And I trust that we can get that going back again in the festival. We all know what happened in 2000. In 2000, we all know what happened. However, The Minister of Finance, if we are serious about running a country, the Minister of Finance should be in the caliber of Julie, a professional with requisite training and experience to be an effective Minister of Finance. And we've seen over the years, we've got Minister of Finances that do not have the experience and training that Julie had. And consequently, the performance has been significantly compromised. We have maintained a good relationship, and Julie has maintained a good relationship over the years. And I give priority to ACS. Anytime I've got to cast my dollar votes, I cast them at ACS because I have a lot of confidence in Julie. However, Julie's going for experience. This is the second time that Julie is experiencing this type of illness.
Yeah.
I visit him regularly. He's well managed. His body's intact, but he's mentally deficient. Incidentally, I'm married to his first cousin.
Wow.
I pray one day that his mental capacity will be restored in the interest of Dominica. Because I think that Julie still has the ability to make, if the mental capacity is restored, to make a significant contribution to the development of Dominica, privately or publicly.
Okay, my bro, thank you very much. I mean, this was so warming to hear of those comments from you. I myself remember how close you were during those days, Ron. And I really want to thank you for really coming to the fore and contributing this morning and sharing your relationship and sharing how distinguished this statesman is to Dominica, why we should continue to cherish him. Thanks a lot, bro, and God bless you.
Yeah, before I make my exit, Wadix, I just want to make a few recommendations.
Okay.
A few simple recommendations.
Go right ahead.
The program that we're doing today,
yes,
I would like a similar program for Fitzroy Williams.
Fitzroy Williams, right.
Fitzroy Williams. Before the World Creole Music Festival, I would highly appreciate if we could do a similar program for Fitzroy Williams.
Okay, sir.
I would like the Dominica Festivals Commission to recognize the contribution of Fitzroy Williams to Creole music during World Music Festival 25.
Okay.
And finally, I'm appealing to musicians and bands to develop a song dedicated to Fitzroy Williams. WCK in the past did something for Eddie Tudor. Fitzroy and Dice did something, and also Asa Banton. I heard something recently from Asa Banton where they did homage to Jeff Joe. And
it's a sound that was done at Jeff's passing, but I replayed it on Saturday gone.
Recently it was played, and I was very impressed with that, the style, and he shows that he has the ability to come into the Kadas world. Okay, so I'm asking those three things, a similar program. DFC, whoever from DFC is listening, we need to recognize the contribution of Fitzroy Williams to Creole music, this World Creole Music Festival. And finally, a band, a musician, or somebody who will be appearing on the festival, if they could develop a dedicated song to Fitzroy Williams.
Okay, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. One love, my brother. Thank you very much for your pertinent points there. Glenn, Phil, Sandra, everything we okay? Because we're going across to Myrtle. We're going across to Myrtle, and I think we have Myrtle live on the line. Good morning to you, Myrtle. How are you?
Morning, everybody. Morning.
How are you? Everything is okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Everything is okay.
Okay, and tell us a little about Julius Timothy, how well you know him, and some of the positives of Julius Timothy.
Julie was my boss. I graduated from St. Martin School. He came to my house and he said, "You need a job?" I say, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, come to my office on Monday." And that's where my working for 80 shilling first started. He started with me cashing by the bridge tire department, and I ended up in the insurance department. I left Dominican in 1988, and he's always been a positive influence. If I need advice, I could call him positive advice, and he's just sorry and sad to see where he is now.
And in terms of working relationship and what sort of relationship you had with him as a
He was the best boss, one of the best people I ever worked for. You have a problem, you go to him. Anyway, he can advise you or help you, he would. We used to have parties and we couldn't shop because back then people was paying for parties and we would get the money 2 hours before the party. He would open ACS first on a Sunday morning, come and shop, take all you want, pay me what all you have. And that's the kind of guy that he was. He was very good guy.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your contribution, Mitchell, and may God continue to bless you.
Thank you.
So good to hear from you and your contribution this morning.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, we have a caller on the line, and after we'll go across to Delvin Esprit, who is also he wants to make a contribution. Is Delvin Esprit ready? Not yet. So we are trying to hook up with Delvin Esprit. In the meantime, I'm not sure if you have anything to add on Glenville. Let's see if we have Delvin Esprit. Good morning to you, Delvin Esprit. Okay, well, let's take this one. Let's take this live. Let's take this one. This other call live. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat, as we continue our living tribute to Mr. Julius Timothy. Good morning to you.
What is your question?
No problem.
Can you hear what is happening?
Yes, from my understanding, yes.
Okay.
And that is the most important thing. Despite his ailment, despite his challenges, he can hear. And that is the most important thing why we are doing this. And that's why before I leave, I want to play his voice again when he was much better, because this is history. And history from the man himself is so critical. I mean, Sandra, you work so close to him, you continue. When last you saw him, what is his spirits like?
Julius Timothy, the only, major problem, as we all know. Actually, Glenford Merrifield was there. That was the last time I saw him. That was last week, or when was it, Merrifield? But before he left.
That was last Monday.
Last Monday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Timothy looks well,
Yeah.
as Ron Lander said. His only problem, which I on occasion have intervened by not allowing individuals to go and see him. I would tell them don't, because Julius Timothy was all that for everybody, and he had to have the first and the last say.
Yes.
Now you come and you try to have a conversation with him, and he cannot reciprocate. That is pressure.
Yes.
So we saw him under a little pressure, but there were one or two things that I said to him, and he was very happy. He visibly so he kept nodding in agreement, so he is okay. As Ron Lander said, it's just his mental capacity.
In terms of we know that do we have Delvin? Okay, we have Delvin Esprit. We'll get back to you right now, and Glenn Ford. Good morning to you, Delvin Esprit. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Wallace, and good morning to many listeners.
And how are you this morning, my friend?
Well, Wallace, it's just taking it easy. Just taking it easy. I'm doing my best.
I know you're an ace domino player, organizer, administrator, and Julius was an ace player with Riley and Ted Daly. What do you want to tell us about Julius Timothy this morning?
Well, I can tell you a lot about Mr. Timothy, and as you know, that Mr. Timothy is not only a domino player, but as you know, Mr. Timothy is this and used to play good football, and also used to play cricket for Cavaliers. He was also all-around grandson in terms of his ability. Mm-hmm. But one of the most respectful thing I realized is that when we went to Guyana to play dominoes in 1996, we were more stranded in Guyana. And then, to come back to Dominican, it was very difficult for us, and Mr. Timothy came to our rescue.
Wow.
I always remember Timothy for that.
No. I mean, the bone. I know you as the bone, so it comes out. What do you mean by he rescued you? He rescued the team. What do you mean? Explain for us.
Well, a matter of fact, that's what the team was stranded in Guyana and so on, because we had to stay in a hotel and so on. We had to move and a lot of things. And when come first to come back to Dominican, it was difficult to get to people were tickets and we overstayed, and it was really, really, really difficult. And Mr. Timothy at the time and so on came to our rescue in Guyana.
And purchased tickets for you to get back.
Yes, and
Wow.
everything, and he make all the arrangements and everything for us and so on. He could not leave us stranded and so on.
Wow.
And I remember that very well. And you see, the thing about the whole thing is that what is that a lot of things Timothy do for so many people and so on, and they do things to recognize that also, because Mr. Timothy plays so much of an active role in so many people's lives, especially in Newtown and in the Rural North and around the island.
Yeah.
So I just tend to believe that, and they seem to forget about Mr. Timothy. But what I did and so on, what is that maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I organized a domino competition and it was on behalf of Mr. Timothy, just to let people realize that Mr. Timothy, how important Mr. Timothy was in terms of sports and domino on the island. And in that competition, what if I had 50 domino teams compared to the association now that have only 25 domino teams taking part in the league. I had 50 domino teams around the island from daily, all around the island participating in that major competition. And I decided to do that as an annual thing, but this year we did not have it and so on. I haven't spoken to Mr. Duque about it and so on. But I think that is something that should continue. Because I told him that I want to do that for Mr. Timothy, just because I feel that Mr. Timothy has contributed so much to sports in Dominican, not only sports in Dominican, but all in dominoes, but in the Rural North, Pottersville, Rural North, and so on, the Tower Street, water, that's where I live in Pottersville and Tower Street, and also it is. So I feel that I owe Mr. Timothy something, and when I pass and visit him, a number of times I pass and visit him and so on. I just feel that some people could just show their little respect and so on. To just go and pass and visit him and show their appreciation, because the amount of people that he has helped in the course of Dominican is really too many to mention what is. And I just think he's very humble. He played for my domino team. He played for Swansea. Remember, his partner was Ted Daly.
Yes.
After Tom Laffoy, it was Ted Daly. So
yes.
He and Ted Daly and he and Tom Laffoy. So he really spared Swansea. In terms of Dominican, and he also helped the other domino teams like Rebels from Funkuli and those other teams. So he has contributed a lot towards guys, and I think guys own just a little gratitude and so on, to show a little respect and so on. Just a little visit, even if 5 or 6 people in people's busy schedule, just to pass and see Mr. Timothy. But apart from that, he has done a lot and so on. What if I can just go on and on
and we know he helped Pottersville in particular. We can quite a bit of people from Pottersville.
Yes, definitely. And in the Pottersville area, and I think in the Pottersville area and the parish, remember he was the parish for that area.
Yes, Rosa North.
And not only that, but Mr. Timothy is so powerful, and I think Mr. Timothy is one of the most powerful guys in Dominica, because Mr. Timothy won on a workers' platform in the Rural North, and he also come on and won on a labor platform in the Rural North. That's to show it's not easy for you for somebody to do that at that time.
Yes,
show you that the type of ability and the type of confidence that people had in Mr. Timothy. So now I just think to believe that once people can show their gratitude and so on, and pass on and visit them and just say hello and just, it is difficult times, but what is a lot of times that when people will feel when you're up and going. But when you're down and so on, nobody seems to know about you and just forget about you. But it's always wise to go back to your roots to find out who helped you to become who you are today, right? That's
why we're doing this particular program this morning. And you want to thank you, Delvin Esprit, and you would know the amount of teams, not only in Domino, but try and just imagine a man is playing for one team and sponsoring another team in the same league. So thank you very much, Delvin Esprit, here as we continue. And I mean, Sandra, what you're hearing, we'll get to Mr. Gregoire in a while, and also Glenford. But what you are hearing, how do you feel? What does that make you feel? After being with you, I mean, so close, 37 years.
I mean, we all seem to have the same reports. And I'm listening to Delvin Esprit. One of the things I want to tell Delvin, don't encourage everybody to go and see Julius Timothy.
Okay.
You know he was a powerful man. Now, in his state, you are looking to put pressure on him.
Okay.
Everybody have to go and look for him. But let us also appreciate that all I'm hearing is Julius Timothy's immense generosity.
Yes.
That's almost unsurpassed. Julius Timothy gave so much to everybody. Typical example, if you will permit me, Hurricane Maria.
Yeah.
Where Julius Timothy allowed even the government to purchase his commodities, and this may not be the forum for it, but I know how the pain that it caused Julius Timothy, that this matter has still not yet been settled.
Explain, I'm not sure what you're saying.
Basically, Julius Timothy has not received any monies for the goods that so I am hoping that the authorities, this is not a political issue, and this may not be the forum or the platform for it, but I think now is the time for the authorities to revisit that situation and at least find some way to, because I think that may be one of his pain.
Yeah.
I know personally that it caused him tremendous pain. So that's my.
And in terms of right after Maria, he actually, well, we all know he gave rights to all the goods
Yes.
in his various supermarkets.
Yes, he did.
With the intention of getting paid for it, and he hasn't gotten paid.
He
That's
hasn't
what you're
gotten
saying.
paid.
Yeah. All right. Let's hope that something can work out and this can be rectified very soon, especially now that we are doing this special tribute. But we have a few more calls coming in, Antoinette. We have a few more calls because we want to interact as much as possible before we go back to our callers, and we leave the final word to Mr. G. Let's take a few more calls to Julius Timothy. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
And how are you?
Didn't just contribute to Dominican, also contribute to Wrong.
Wrong does also.
Wrong in Parish Street. He was a great man. There was time he was playing his stuff at Forrestville because his son for the boat flip. And he won the contest, and boy, it was just fun. Mr. Timothy was born. So on my behalf, just want to say what he did.
Okay, thank you very much. More calls coming in from Mr. Julius Timothy. Good morning to you. This is the big station Q95 FM. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Speaking about Mr. Timothy's generosity, I really mentioned earlier on and comparing something like the Red Clinic and let's just say, for lack of a better term, the Blue Clinic. But the Blue Clinic was more a personal thing and generosity
yes,
mankind in Dominica. And another thing we have to do is contrast, the source of funds, because the source of funds was the personal funds,
Yeah.
The funds that come from you and not government funds to look good. You're just doing it out of a pure heart. Because I personally, I worked with Mr. Timothy indirectly. He had a garage at the town and I worked there in the early days in the 90s. And Mr. Timothy was always a humble man and a straight man with all of us. If somebody has come from the outside, they even know, well, this is Mr. Timothy. He's the man that runs the place and owns the place or whatever, So that was always the. And even when he went up in the Rosenhof constituency, he was always a good man because a lot of the work that was done in the Rosenhof constituency in terms of setting up tracks and building steps and making roads and making access to people's homes, more accessible and things like that and more convenient for them. It was a result of his hard work. Even in Parish Street, we used to have a constant water shortage. And when he came around, he's the man that gave Parish Street constant water up to a day like today. I don't think Parish Street no longer suffers from that lack of water. Every morning there is no water because the water was coming from the lower region and it was difficult. The pressure was always dropping and it was very difficult for us. But when he came on board and he came around and was representing the area, things began to flow, So I just want to give thanks for his life too and hope that he can have a recovery at some point. And I just want to say everything thanks to
Okay, thank you very much. I also think he did some work in Greens Lane, the concrete section. Okay, the concrete section. Okay, and as we wind down, because we have to make way for the news, Glenn, final thoughts as we, distribute. We are trying to do to raise awareness and even bring to history, bring up to speed history for what this statesman has done for Dominica. Final words as you depart. Glenn Ford.
Oh, Glenn. Okay, you said Glenn. I thought it was Glenn Leon.
Glenn Ford and then Glenn.
Another thing about him, though, he never became attached to material things that he would not share. I will tell you, he didn't think twice about letting you drive any of his vehicles, and some of his vehicles he has had were on the expensive side. And anybody had a need and they needed to go somewhere, he gave them that vehicle to thing. So that was another humble side of his.
Okay, Glenn. Glenn, are you hearing us? Glenn Charles.
He's muted.
Okay, unmute your phone. Glenn. Yes. Unmute your system. Yes, Glenn.
Yes. No. Just to
final
add,
words.
Just to add, he would give up anything from his house, from his office. It could be anywhere. There was nothing that he had that you couldn't have, and that was the most telling thing about Timothy. He was totally selfless, totally.
Totally. And Sandra, I will leave the final words for Mr. G. But as you live there and you go back to the ACS family, how do you feel about what is happening here now and what you suggest that we should do in the future? You already said that you hope that the authorities will try to at least meet the situation and make an arrangement with the situation to at least alleviate some of the stress of Mr. Timothy by seeing how they can make some arrangements. But as you leave and go back to the ACS family, how are you feeling?
I am glad for the experience. Thank you. And
Mm,
the exposure.
mm.
So,
You felt it was something we Dominicans owed to Mr. Timothy?
yes. And if I may even quote you, Wadis, too many times after people are gone, after people are dead, let me just say it bluntly, that's when we want to celebrate and talk about how good they were and express our gratitudes, but they are not there to hear it. So while we are here, and Julius Murphy is still here because he understands everything, he hears everything. You know, as I said earlier, he may just not be able to reciprocate and have a sentence with you. This is very good for him. And I am
Do you
hoping not
think this
just,
is therapeutic? He
yes,
listening to how the people feel about him today is a therapeutic morning for him.
yes, I agree. I believe that.
Mm-hmm. And
And
what?
for ACS on a whole, because we are, as Glenn Ford said earlier, he is our boss or he was our boss, but it was like an extended family. Julius Murphy look out for everybody. Nothing was too hard for him to do for you, or or at least give you of his possessions because he really wasn't that the materialistic type.
Well, what
But
stuck to me most is the employee who fell ill and he actually used his own
his own
resources
resources, yes,
to actually fly that particular employee to Martinique to get some better medical
yes,
attention. This is phenomenal. Not very many, I
yes.
mean, employers in Dominica would do a noble gesture.
Yes, I went to him actually, and I told
Mm.
him about that particular employee, and he agreed.
Okay, so we're giving him the
And
highest praises.
immediately we are,
Okay, so
we are.
Sandra, just continue to stay safe and remember how much your eldest brother will always be your
All
eldest
right.
brother. And I love you. Final words to Mr.
Okay.
G. Mr. G,
Yes.
as we wind up our special tribute, Creole Handbit and QFM once again felt it was very important to actually, bring this hour and a half to celebrate someone who has done so much for Dominica. And as we wind up, Mr. G, what are your final thoughts?
Well, my thought is that we are celebrating a man who needs to be celebrated in a
Yeah.
much bigger way than we're doing it today. He should be celebrated at a national level, and especially now at this Creole Music Festival. I mean, the original suggestion came from him, and his name should be out there in the lights, shining bright over the Creole Music Festival. But Wadix, I know, Julie, you're listening, and as you recall, you were my best man, my wedding. You and
Best man at your wedding.
yes, the anniversary was yesterday.
Okay.
29th anniversary was 27th anniversary was yesterday. So Julie, you did a good job. You kept me on path. But let me just read one or two of the comments just so Julie would know some what the people are saying on
Yes.
on Facebook.
Sure.
Julius Timothy is a good man. He had Dominica in his heart. Julius Timothy is a great man, a real businessman, first to expand business till midnight. Mr. Timothy is a true son of Dominica who has contributed immensely to the development of our country. As Minister for Finance, this his main mission was to put money in your pocket, right? And
Mhm.
so, right, and so basically, these are just a few of the comments
Yeah, the
coming in
better for the large, yeah.
there. But Julia, I just wanted you to know that you are in our hearts. We think of you constantly. We can't get to talk to you, but still we wish you. And then when I come down, I will the first person I'm going to come to see is you. I hope Sandra will allow me to see you. I think we need to have a little rap. So
Yes, yes, yes.
the mind is still there, and I just
Mhm.
wish you to recovery that you'll be able to speak again because you always spoke so eloquently and so
Yes.
humbly, and you embraced everybody, all and sundry. So, Julie, all the best to you. I really hope you have a full recovery from your ailment. We love you.
Thank you very much, G. And just got a message from OJ Seraphin for Mr. Julius Timothy, wishing him all the best and hope the Father will continue to bless, guide, and protect him. That's from the former Prime Minister of Dominica, Oliver Seraphin. And as we wind down this morning, we want to really urge each and every Dominican to be each other's keeper. I mean, let us continue to love each other. We will never find everyone on the same political side. We will always have political differences. But let's continue to move this rock to the next level. And those who excel, those who blaze the trail, let's continue to big them up. Leo bagay bon nung nipudi bon. Some of those guys really sacrificed. I just read in a message. Every day was a work day for Julius Timothy when he was a minister of government. Up to Sunday, Saturday and Sunday were working days for Mr. Julius Timothy. That is the epitome of a man dedicated to his task, dedicated to his country. Mr. G, I want to thank you and the Q95 family for the opportunity for us to do this. And let's hope that we can take on Ron's idea and do similar for Fitzroy Williams. I want to thank you for what you have done for Creole Habit and thank you personally for what you have done for me. May God continue to bless you and may God continue to bless Dominica. This was another Creole Heartbeat program. The news major comes up in a while. I just want to thank executive producer Jerry Williams and my producer Antoinette and DJ Shan. Until next week, Prince Wadix, may God bless you and may God bless Dominica. Over to Franklin, Peter Moses, the legendary one.
Sheridan.